and we're underway and racing. Stay on the brakes, goodness me, what a launch! The outside of turn 1 and takes the lead of the race. Hello everybody and welcome to Azerbaijan as we get all set for what's going to be an absolutely fantastic weekend of racing, because we've got a sprint and a feature for you here tonight. Sprint up first, and then in around about an hour's time we'll be underway for all the action from the main event as well. Alongside me in the commentary box once again is Owen. Owen, welcome to you. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic event. We can't wait to get started, and a sprint race in reverse championship order.
Yeah, hello Josh, and welcome back to APC for this week. And
Thank you.
yeah, of course, it is going to be fantastic. Sprints in this league work differently to most others. So some leagues do like a qualifying for the sprint and then go into the sprint and then do another qualifying like real life F1 does. But here we shake it up a little bit. We do reverse championship order just to give everyone a chance to score some good points and have some really good racing action. As you see some of the front runners take on sort of the midfield runners you wouldn't normally see them fight.
We're under starters orders as well, getting all set. Fingers crossed it's going to be a good event. And I've just also realised that we're just waiting on a few more. Are we still going to have the formation lap on this sprint procedure?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to be honest.
Neither am I. I've just noticed that Tom's mic is deafened on the screen that we have for the broadcast, so we can't hear the cars, which we should be able to eventually. So we'll see how that works going forward. But all to play for, all looks quite good coming into it. So fingers crossed it's going to be a good event. Just out of interest, Owen, as well, this is our second time we've run a sprint this year. The first was back in Austria. What are you anticipating to come from this?
Seeing as it's Baku, we're gonna see a lot of difficult racing, if you understand what I mean. Baku, a very challenging circuit, especially in that sector 2, with the very tight and challenging castle section. So I think in this sprint we're gonna see a lot of overtaking. Obviously, we're gonna have some of the front runners coming back through the pack, and Baku being a circuit that is very possible to overtake on, having one of the longest straights on the entire calendar. But I also think we're going to see lots of close racing.
Still waiting for the drivers at the moment in terms of the screen alongside us. So yet to go into the start procedure, and we will be underway. Lobby's been ready since we went on, so we should be good to go for the sprint here. Of course, this Azerbaijan circuit, no stranger to sprint events. It held one a couple of years ago as well. I think this weekend was just the normal event. Looking at my stats up here in the comms box, yes, it was 6 sprints for Formula 1 this year. We've got 2 remaining, and here we go. And they will indeed head off on the formation lap and venture around the circuit, which gives us opportunity. Got 6 coming in as well for this one. I think Owen as well. A nice, cool, calm, collected event. We should get going quite quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be a calmer sprint race, I'd say, but I'm sure we'll still get some good racing. And also, just something to note, Adam Watson is at the back because he turned up after the grid had been sorted, so he was put to the back of the grid just because that's the rules.
Just get to quickly adjust something on the broadcast so that it all works for us back home as well. Still trying to work out why there isn't anything on the microphone output as well in terms of what it needs to be. So we'll see if it all comes through. And we should be able to hear the drivers in operation shortly out here on the circuit as well. So fingers crossed, it's all going to be good. The drivers will be hopeful that the event will be a swift one. I'm not expecting any big dramas or any big exits as well from this one. It should be nice, cool, calm, collected. And that's another thing.
Yeah, seeing as it's a sprint, we're not going to be seeing every single driver absolutely going for it. I think we're just going to see a cool, calm race, as you said.
Tensions are definitely going to rise. I can also fix some problems later in the broadcast, so that's all going to be fine for me. Tensions now rising, coming into the bottom half of the circuit. This bottom turn 15 as well. It often shoots down. I've got a driver tracker map up here in the commentary box from when we covered the race earlier on this season. And all the plethora of notes we've got up here in the comms box. That's Marina Bay, which never actually printed out. Here's Azerbaijan. It's always somewhere along the list in terms of stats and facts. I remember because I draw on my track maps in terms of positionings for, well, speeds in terms of sectors. So turn 1, second gear, 120 kilometers an hour, rise up to second gear, 95 DRS on the run down as well to the first few corners. But it's the castle section, isn't it? I mean, that really gets problematic.
Yeah, the castle section a real test for drivers, not only in real life, but also in the game. We saw, obviously, some big name crashes there. A few years ago, we saw Charles Leclerc crash, was it 2019, I believe? And it's a section that's very easy to overdo if you're not careful in this game.
Eyes to the lights, all 5 are on. And we go sprinting here in Azerbaijan. Good start down towards the first corner already. The two Ferraris making a bit of a battle. Lock up as well for the Williams, trying to go around the outside. And already we've got Bajan Vortex going straight towards the wall there as well. Lock-ups downhill towards turn number 3, but everyone through cleanly as we head back down to where Sainz and Perez crashed a couple of weeks ago. This now turn 3, second gear, 100-mile-per-hour corner as well. As we rise down, a lot of brakes, a lot of lock-ups as well, and medium compound tyres on board with the Alpine. And win to the lead of the race goes to Williams, and contact! Williams in the wall! Backwards down the backstretch, and 2 off already, one of the McLarens as well. So we're already losing a bit of damage on the front wings, so already the sprint race not going ideally well. Safety car not needed with such a limited field. Ferrari 1-2 then as well. As they come up towards the castle section, will we get through this part cleanly? Looks like it so far. Checking with the Williamses as well. Get through. Secondary McLaren. Yeah, that lock-up space. No! Out! Into the wall! Well, Charles Leclerc, we were just talking about it having a moment. Out of the race goes the McLaren, and then there were 5 as Williams comes back through in the back tracks as well. So not the best getaway, unfortunately. Oh, and more off, and both McLarens out of the race. And then there were 4. So 4. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, Owen. Doesn't the game automatically end if there's a podium, if there's 3?
No. The lobby won't end unless all the rest of the 4 in the lobby crash out.
Suddenly, it feels like 2005 back in the famous Indianapolis 500 Grand Prix as well that we had down there. Into the pit lane comes the Williams and the damaged front wing as well. Both McLarens out at the moment. And just like it was in Indianapolis 2005, it is a 1-2 for the Ferraris. We've got the Alpine running in 3rd as well. Gap between them is 0.6 of a second. It's only a 9-lap sprint, but already not going to be the best. I wonder if Aron's going to retire from the race because he's not going to be involved in this battle at the front. So for once, it's the easiest work from a commentator. We don't have to do anything. We can just stick on this camera because it shows us the top 3 advancing in this race. So far, Ferrari going a little bit wide there as well for Senki as well. And we're going to have a little bit of a problematic remaining 7 laps. And yeah, it's not the greatest, but it's going to be hopefully interesting as already we've got people disconnecting rear ghost cars as well, Owen.
Yeah, and I also have noticed something. Andrea Chenkovan is missing an end plate if you look at his car.
Oh, yes, he is, yeah.
Front end plate. So him and Ethan Shackleton, although they're breaking away, probably Shackleton being held up by Chenkovan a little bit, perhaps.
So this, well, there's the strategies. It's hardly going to be needed. This is a sprint race, as you can see. The SR at the top of your screen. But they come again then on the backstretch. You're rising up. 8th gear, 290, 310 through the kink at turn 20. That's on board with Ethan then, as he'll have no need for DRS at this stage. He'll open it anyway, breezes through, and the 2 Ferraris will swap places. And it's a 143.339 in towards the first corner. Bit of a lock-up on the inside. Does he go wide? No, keeps it in. So already looking good. Where's the Williams, you ask? Just coming into that sector now on the backstretch. So 27 seconds back on the overall pace are the Alpine Now, with Vortex going to have a little bit of a run down to turn 3? No. So the two Ferraris have this one in contention as well, just like they did back in 2005 at Indianapolis, the US Grand Prix, of course. Again, locking up like crazy, coming to the chicane at 7 and 8. We join them now with Chenkovan. Of course, we haven't got tyres here this weekend. He's not racing, so we will have a different winner for a change in the broadcast. Last time I was here, it was a great last lap at Zandvoort, coming off the backstretch. Chenkovan's going to still be suffering with that end plate as well. Won't have the DRS speed and keep together in these parts of the track. 2 seconds already to the Alpine. What happened there? Just dropped massively back as well on those medium compound tyres. Ferrari starting to have the pace as they accelerate back round. Here's going to be the bit seeing if it's going to be team orders or not, whether or not we'll see a DRS activated. They're coming out to that zone now, just past the trigger line. So you get the speed trap there, and then you get the DRS here, and he's going to sail through, and Ethan Shackleton not going to do a thing about it, and just pausing behind Chekovan as they come in towards the first corner. So the two Ferraris, it's going to work together for this sprint race, and presumably sprint race points offer as well, Owen.
Yeah, probably just working together to secure maximum points. Whether we'll see team orders and Ethan Shackleton will give Chenkovan the extra point. Obviously, Chenkovan being closest to Longswap Reversi in the championship, and this being such a good opportunity to gain some really good points on him. So we will see, but Ferrari will definitely be working together to lock down a 1-2.
They've got the advantage of the championship with no Haas here this weekend as well. They can really maximise in the Constructors' Championship as they fly once again towards the castle section. And it's the tricky uphill battle that nobody likes to see. There's the Alpine just in the background as well. See, they can both stay together through the normal sections, and as soon as you get out to the long straights, one has the speed, has the DRS, and the advantage so much more. But that end plate for Chekovan being lost, we're losing so much more time. Over the curb, drops downhill. Oh, and Bollard gone there. The Alpine knocking out of the way there, unfortunately. So that might be an end plate damaged along the line if they're not careful. Over again we come. Starting high out of turn 20. Down in towards turn number 1. And here we go again. Look, DRS will be activated. Chakaman's going to breeze through into the lead. And Shackleton's not going to do a thing about it. He'll get back in behind the toe, and it just becomes this trade over point consistently in order to, as you said, Owen, maximise on points. That 5-9 here in the sprint race for the APC. Oh! Big snap! And Shackleton into the wall and damaging both sides of his front wing. So that was lucky not to be a DNF and throw away bigger points there, but damaged wing. More so, I would say, than what we have on Chekovan's car. So just a little snap at the exit and a touch of the wall there, Owen. Bit power steering issue, maybe?
Don't think it'd be a power steering issue. I think he probably just had a massive snap of oversteer, maybe accelerated slightly too early. Big snap, big consequences there for Ethan Shackleton.
That's why, and is that why we're seeing him lock up as well now? He's got no grip on that inside front, and I'm surprised he didn't put it into the wall there, to be fair. Nicely held to the castle section.
Yeah, I was watching him in the last couple of laps. From what I've seen, he was locking up beforehand. I think maybe just struggling on the brakes here, of course.
Oh!
We have an Alpine in the wall.
Yep, Alpine keeps on going and loses now his part of the front wing of the castle section. Dropped 14 seconds back now, and closing in would be the Williams. So the battle for third might be on still.
Possibly, yeah. He's only 10 seconds back now, and with Kyle Stewart-Wood having damaged, possibly he could gain that. So we shall see.
Down the backstretch we go once more. No DRS this time because the gap is 1.8 seconds. So nothing, unfortunately, to do there. Don't know why I'm standing up. I can sit down. Coming into it. Braking hard then in towards the first corner. And it really is going to be now just control it to the end. It's lap 6 of 9. So just a little lock up on the inside front. 2 McLarens retiring on the opening lap. I wonder what all that's about, to be fair, coming into it. So we've got 1 via Steam, 4 via Xbox, and 1 via PlayStation at the moment. On this one, it's a cross-player championship. Why PSGL still don't do that, I don't know. For Formula 1. I wonder why, honestly. Keeps it coming through. See how the Ferrari's just angling it perfectly coming into it. Throws it in. Another little lock up through the castle section. Here's Chenkovan on course for a sprint win. If he can keep that second gap to his teammate of Ethan Shackleton, I think it's possible. I'm on in the Williams now, 4 seconds back to the Alpine as well. So Kyle's going to be right there trying to capitalise on it soon. Through turn 15, downhill again. 3rd gear, 130 kilometres to turn 16 at exactly the same speed. You might like to know. It's quite interesting how you take those. Gain and lose exactly the same, and it's a long drag down this over 2 kilometre back straight. Massive straight. The longest, it's not actually technically part of the straight because the straight edges from turn 20 onwards, but it's the longest flat out section in Formula 1. Half the circuit. Literally, you go from one side of the circuit to the other. So it's half of the length, and it's 6 kilometres. It's about a 3 kilometre back straight. Over we go, lap 7 of 9. Through turn 3. Let's check in with the Williams, actually, because he's right at the back of the Alpine for the battle for 3rd position now. So Aaron and Carl are going to be battling hard. And I've just got a feeling... Oh, and into the pit lane comes the Alpine. So up Aaron goes into 3rd place. So that's going to be an interesting one. This will be, presumably, Owen, soft tyres and a new wing.
Yeah, soft tyres probably go for fastest lap at the end. And yes, we are seeing a new front wheel on Carl. Obviously, couldn't drive with that damage. And Baku is obviously a circuit that is quite difficult to drive with a wing. Without a wing, sorry.
Leaves the pit lane, and he's now 22 seconds behind the Williams. I wonder how much it'll be at the exit. Finally, 23. And here's the Williams now in 3rd position with Aaron, locking up the rears and nearly putting in the barriers at 5 and 6. But he'll close up. There's Ethan Shackleton now 2.4 seconds back to Chenkovan, who's already exited turn 15 and looks on course to win the Azerbaijan sprint race here. Just got to keep it calm. Both got damaged front wings, of course, so arguably you'd say it should be even for slipstream and traction, but I reckon at this point, like Owen mentioned earlier on, maximum points for the team, for the constructors, and allowing Chenkovan to get the extra point to close up in the championship as well. Round 10 coming up later. Over the line. 2 to go. Braking hard into the first corner. 2nd gear, 120 kilometres an hour back up. Still into 2nd gear at turn 2. This time at 95 kilometres an hour. Control the exit. Usually you'd open up the DRS now as well. Down towards turn 3. Heavy braking zone. Still a left-hander. 2nd gear at 100 kilometres an hour now as well. Brake hard. Flip the car in. Our first right comes at turn 4. 2nd gear, 95 kilometres an hour. Control the wheel spin at the exit as you head down to 5 and 6. Starting at 105, then dropping down to 95 kilometres an hour. Boot it hard up towards turn 7. Guess what? 2nd gear, 75 kilometres an hour. It's very much a stop-start circuit, this one. But then it's rising uphill through the castle section. The narrowest part is 8 metres wide from 95 to 125. 95 at the entry, rise up, little tank slap at the rear, going 125 at the top, and out the exit, 7th gear, 265 kilometres as you come round turn 13 as well. 8th gear, 295 into the downhill braking zone, into turn number 15 as well, hard down, 3rd gear, 130 kilometres an hour, flip the car in, control the wheel space, downhill, dropping 6 stories, 3rd gear again, 150 this time through turn 16, 17 now, you're just rising speed, 6th gear, 215, by the time you reach the kick here at turn 18, 7th gear, 270, 8th gear, 290, rise up, build up as well, at the kick here at turn 20, 8th gear, 310, it's still rising, still rising, still rising, still rising, and now open up the DRS, maximum 335 over the line. And that's a lap at Azerbaijan. It's the final lap now, though, for Chenkovan to get a race victory in the sprint. Ethan Shackleton in second. Owen's in third. Kyle's down in fourth, but he's got that gap now to 6 seconds. But I think the Williams has had some error because he's now 40 seconds back to the two Ferraris. So I think there must have been something on that lap time to drop him 20 seconds backwards. Yeah, good circuit then, Owen, isn't it, here in Azerbaijan?
Yeah, it's an awesome circuit, Baku. It's one of my favourites on this game, honestly. I didn't particularly like it on the previous couple of games, but on this one I really like it. It's really fun to drive. And the castle section, if you can get it right, it is really satisfying to actually drive. And in the qualifying session, again, it's one of the more fun laps just because of how challenging it is.
So here we go then. I don't know how long we lost audio for. Apparently there's a connection issue on Discord for a second. It's bobbed back in now. So I don't know. I could hear myself, but if you at home couldn't hear us, apologies. Over we come then again. It's going to be a sprint win for Chenkovan in the Ferrari. Out of we come, up towards the line. Ferrari have swept this one. Maximum points in the sprint race. Nice little cushion going into the main race later. A new winner, finally again. Chenkovan wins the sprint race here in Baku. Ethan Shackleton comes in second place. Third will be Owen, and Carl come in fourth in the Alpine. Nice little sprint, that. I wish could have had 6 rather than 4. Your closing thoughts, Owen, for this one before we go into the race later?
Unfortunate sprint for obviously Adam Watson and Connor Stewart Woodard, but well done by Andrea Chenkovan. Well driven, well managed, and well managed by everyone that ended up finishing the race. Of course, a difficult circuit.
Absolutely. Over the line. Oh, and the Alpines were tired on the circuit as well. Race winner for Chenkovan. And that's the sprint race concluded here in Baku. Driver of the day, rightly so as well in the sprint. Nicely handled by the two Ferraris as well to get ready for it later. Full results then, Chenkovan. Ethan Shackleton in second, Owen's third, Kyle fourth, and the two McLarens out of the race in 5th and 6th positions. Nicely done as well. And Carl said the wheel stopped in the castle section as well. Welcome to round 10 of the APC League in 2024. We are here in Azerbaijan. About half an hour ago, we had the F1 sprint and the two Ferraris dominating in that one as well. Here today, we're going to have all set and eyes ready for what is going to be the main event, qualifying coming up, and the race as well being loaded alongside me in the commentary box once again is our eSport expert, Owen. Owen, welcome to you. Beautiful sunshine here as the green light goes on for qualifying, and we're hopefully going to be all in for a very interesting day. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. What about you, Josh?
Not too bad, thank you. Just sort of plodding along after the sprint race, and now we'll see what we're going to have here today. Still the same 6 we had in the sprint race, and hopefully it's going to be better for the two McLarens.
Yeah, and also the Alpine of Carl Stewart Woodard, who obviously crashed on the last lap. He said his wheel disconnected, which was really unfortunate. But yeah, hopefully we get everyone finishing this race. Of course, as I said in the sprint, Baku, a difficult circuit. That castle section took a couple of names in the sprint, as we saw. So hopefully everybody has learnt from that and we can have a good race.
Fingers crossed it's going to go well. We'll just have a look at all the announcements coming through now as well. Fingers crossed we're going to be good. So Carl says it's going to be 6% chance of rain in the short qualifying and a wet race. By the looks of it, 89% chance of rain coming for the main event as the cars venture out onto the circuit. So this is going to be pretty much a crucial qualifying then with what could be an interesting rain setup coming later.
A wet race is definitely going to throw a monkey wrench into this, and a wet race is going to test the drivers even more than Baku would normally. So it's going to be really interesting to see who's going to come through and pull out a performance. Rain, especially around a circuit like Baku, will separate the men from the boys.
Fingers crossed then, we're going to be in for a good weekend. Let's get the telemetry open, not that one, the lap time data and the track map opened up for you as well, so that we can see all the data that we need now that we're in a qualifying. Lock up further ahead as well, so it's going to be okay. 5 of the 6 cars have ventured out onto the circuit. We're watching the McLarens now coming through, and fingers crossed they can all take it with a relative ease, that they don't need to push so hard going forward. That's not, of course, the one thing that we want. We want them all to be nice and calm and everybody just relax where they need to be in this event as well. Just opening up my data screens up here in the commentary box so that we've all got the information we need. Get in touch with us if you're watching us on Twitch or on YouTube as well, and we'll get our conversation going because we've got a lot to talk about. And hopefully you can help us along with it across the next 90 minutes of the day. McLaren's already out of it, though, at the moment. So one of them has retired coming into it. Adam Watson has decided he'll take no part in this session. He's crashed out of the circuit. So already down to a few more as we take a look now at Connor Stewart-Woodard coming through in towards turn number 1. He's on the softs, so as I said, it's a second gear, 120 km/h corner. Second gear, 95, just controlling the exit speed. With yellow flag at sector 2, it's one of the Ferraris. So this is where Ethan Shackleton is, so he's okay. Touching the wall a little bit there at the exit. So I wonder if it was a little bit more contact as well for Chenkovan. To be okay to me so far. Everyone's looking good then. So let's take up with the Williams and the McLarens, second and third. So here we go again, coming in for Connor Stewart-Woodard as well, coming through. Holding through the inside lines of the castle section. Rear snapping out nicely. As well, that's rather interesting. My TV picture froze, but my streaming didn't. So that was weird. Thanks to Tom's PC. Lap time cancelled for the Williams, though, who's gone over track limits. Same goes for the McLaren. Fastest first sector, though, for the Alpine. Now coming through with Kyle Stewart-Woodard. Kyle locks up coming downhill in towards turn 7. Up to the castle section now. Let's ride on board and watch the speed grow. As I say, exit speed at 195 and rising up. 7th gear 265, 8th gear 295 into the braking zone. He's kept it in 7th, rising up. He takes out that bollard as well, like he did in the sprint race earlier on. Just trying to hug that inside line, jumping over the curbs once more. And I suppose this is going to be a nice time here for Kyle, isn't it? Because he's got the track effect to put into himself with everyone else losing their lap times.
He'll go net P on for now, and it's a good time to get a time on the board because we've got 12 minutes left. So with how long an out lap of Baku is, and then a push lap and in lap, you're probably only going to get the chance to do 1, maybe 2 more runs. So Kyle's set a good lap time at a good time as Chenkovan goes and split rates it.
So it's a 1:39.266 at the moment then. That's your times on the board. Let's take a look at Ethan Shackleton now as well. He's going to come up towards the line. What's he going to do in the secondary Ferrari? And moves up to second, 1:40.826 as well. So holding together. Now, just taking a look exterior around on this circuit right now. It's all getting very interesting. Yellow flags out first sector. Everyone's still okay. Pit stops in for the McLarens. Out lap again for the Williams. And I feel with 11 minutes 50 to go, we're in this situation as well where everyone's just sort of moving around on times. No one's going to commit yet to a proper run. Kind of to be expected, to be honest with you. this early in the session. Still not many can do outright lap times. Let's check what we're going to see from the Alpine. How his lap time leaded, 9 seconds off the pace. Ethan Shackleton with 140. Well, we knew he was backing off. 3 seconds off for Checovan as well. So these guys are going to come back into the pit lane. They've done their first stint of the day. And we'll gear up and go again with presumably another set of soft compound tyres, which would probably be the best thing. No, they're going to go straight again. So, yeah, 2 runs it seems, as Checovan starts a lap time. I think his teammates coming into the pit lane though.
Yeah, he's obviously fueled up to do 2 laps in a row, which makes sense, because if you go in then come back out, you're just wasting a lot of time in the qualifying session. So fueling up to do 2 in a row does make a lot of sense.
So just starting again. First sector time was okay. Oh, what's happening? Our monitors here. Here we go. Let's control it through the chicane. Doubles across back on the main motorway section. We're almost stepping out. Nice control there from the Ferrari. Up we come again. Into the castle. A lot of entry curb. Game doesn't detect it as a breach. Oh, he had to take a second snap at that and loses the rear coming out of the castle section as well. I would have lost him some time. He's still fastest, of course, but snapping at everything when he don't need to. Oh, really, that car not balanced. Downhill again now into turn 15. Bollard's gone, but still going to be okay. Last opportunity to make a mistake here. Exit 16. Over the curb. Okay. Now it's just a straight line. He should be easily able to bounce across the 2 sides of it. Yep, narrowly. Close to the wall. Timed it to perfection. And have the DRS, of course. Let's check what information you've got then. Over the line. And boxed. That was a shame. What about Ethan? Oh, he's boxing as well. Ethan's lost his lap time out of it. Let's have a look at the Williams then. Up towards the line with Aaron. And McKirk up to the line. And it is second, 1:39.370. Whew. Wow. So it's double there as well. That's going to get... Jenny Gow's just texted me to say that this F1 in London event has only got 150 places for written press, apparently. So I better get me skates on to get to 2 of those locked down. Written press, oh dear. From really hard, well, that would probably go permanent pass. Well, we'll see what we can do about that. Jenny Gow's fantastic if you need to know information in a crunch. Absolutely perfect. Thank you, Jenny. 1:39.266 is the top time. Aaron McKirk's in second with a 1:39.370. So not too much separating them. Less, just over a tenth of a second there as well. 0.104, which I suppose, Owen, as well, that's quite good in this run around at the moment. Yellow flag's out and he caused it somehow. How on earth did that happen?
Just
the front wing.
Just by going slow. This game brings out the yellow flag if you're going slow. Like, you can be in like 2nd or 3rd gear and it'll bring this yellow flag out if you're consistently moving slowly.
Indeed. So hopefully, he should know, of course, retirement's allowed on circuit, so he'll have to get back to the pit on his own, of course. We've got the Alpine out there as well on a lap time. Not telling us what the first sector time is at the moment. It must have been quick because it's going 30 seconds fast, so we'll keep an eye on it. This is with Kyle Short-Woodard as well, coming through on the Xbox. As they fly in once more. You can watch along his progress on via Twitch via KSW_Vortex. Information we get, of course. One of only 2 drivers to have been here since the beginning of the APC. Just flying over the hill. First sector's okay. He's 141.4 as well. 141.146. So he's got to have a bit of a fast time. Jumps over the curb, but turn number 15 as well. Throws it in at 16, controls the slide. Now just rise up the speed. Interior good. Nice positioning of the car. All looks okay to me. 8th gear. Watch as he'll go to press DRS on the steering wheel. The game will reflect that. Over now. There's the DRS button. 138, 139, 140, 140.631. Moves up into 3rd position, gets ahead of Ethan Shackleton's time. So better run there. Chankavan's just starting a lap now behind him in the Ferrari. His fastest still a 139.266 with 5:50 to go. DRS open. We'll ride with him as he heads down towards turn 3. Hard on the brakes. Into turn 3. Nearly has to... Yeah, backs out of it. Nearly has a contact on the wall. Drifts out sideways. Down to 4th gear. 3rd gear. Through the chicane. It's just like he's slowing now as well, so back on the battery power, a little bit of squirt deployment. He knew it wasn't quite fast out there, so has to try it again. Controls the slides once more. Locks up a lot. Narrowly avoids the castle. Again, the rear sliding for the Ferraris. We've got Owen as well out there on a lap time. He's got an out lap, so he'll be on a run shortly. Downhill again into 15, jumped over, doesn't hit the wall. Of course, Chankavan won the sprint race a short time ago. Once again, powering out fastest second sector of anybody. He's got Delta improving. This is going to beat the 139.266 we saw shortly. DRS will be open soon. He's not using any of his overtake power. He's still got half that battery left. He's maybe saving it for another one, and he's coming to the pit lane. So he abandons that run around. We'll pick up the Alpine on the end of the lap. He too is coming into the pit lane. Williams now starting a lap time with a run down in towards the first corner. His out lap was a 139.370. That was the fastest. Big lock up into that first corner. So much for the smoke being different on the new update. Still not as great. Still not as great as Gann as it locks up. Arondas cannot control the inside line better. Down the back straight we go. Into towards turn 3. You can see the 2 points of green. That's the DRS zone. Lock up again on the inside front. Nearly puts it in the barrier. Brushes it with sophistication. Same with the F1 TV exit. Yeah, everyone. Yeah, lock up again on the inside. Drifting out once more through the castle section. Let's ride with the castle section and take a listen. Oh, double lock up. Feathered that throttle, barely touched it as well. Locked up on the inside front. That's going to carry it with him all throughout the exit speed here. 7th gear, you can see he's halfway on the throttle. Downhill braking zone. Oh, the rear almost wants to go into the wall there. Just having to caress it around. He's up though on the time from Chankavan by 1/10 of a second. Gap between him and Chankavan is 1.04. Are we going to have it maybe 1.1? No, still 1.04. Over the line we come. Is it a new pulse hitter from Ferrari? Can Williams take it? Yes! 139.217. Bit of an improvement there by nanoseconds. So, Delta still to come, 2:15 left. Now everyone starts to come out the circuit. Chankavan sort of stayed in there, but we'll see how he goes next. And everyone starts running. What are you making of this session so far then, Owen?
A session of trouble for quite a few people, of course. We've seen quite a few people go for laps and then back out of them, such as Andrea Chankavan has done that twice now. I believe Carl Stewart Woodard has done that as well. So we've seen a few people go for laps because of how tricky Baku is. It's very difficult to nail your first couple of laps. So seen a couple of people do quite a few laps, maybe a couple of reconnaissance laps, and then all beans for this last blast of Baku in qualifying.
Slow cars on the circuit then, as we get our lap time starting for the McLaren now. On board with Connor as he rises through the castle. Yellow flags are out as he's approaching all the traffic as well. That's not what he wants. There's only 5 other cars, well, 4 other cars on the circuit. He's about to beat them all in this section of the circuit. He's decided to go early, get the lap time out of the way. Oh, we got that on the clock. That yellow flag graphic getting in the way. Really shouldn't be there in this session. Jumps over the curb and touches the wall as well. He's got his own family in front of him now as well in the Alpine. With Kyle, gets over it, jumps over the lines then. Everyone going to start their final lap times in this session. Still get our flag zones in there all the time. The car almost looked like it's in the wall there, but it's, oh, hang on, up the inside, the Alpine's going to go for it. Into the pit lane comes the Williams, and 1:41.680. Not going to be an improvement straight off the circuit there as well, unfortunately, coming for the McLaren with Connor straight on wide. And retirement then from the Alpine from the session. It came into the pit lane, so we've only got really the 2 Ferraris left in the session. Checker flags out. Well, there is Chenkovan. Shackleton is further up the road, I want to say. Yes, he is. He's at the castle section now. And taking it by some storm, I might say. Really nicely done. Performed very well there. Down again. Now into turn 15. That'll be the long section of the circuit. Jumps over the curb. Downhill. Sector 2 time shows us up by 0.3 of a second. Oh, hello then. What's the time for Chenkovan? Up by 1/10 of the first sector. Sector 2, 0.2 of a second. So it's going to be a battle between the 2 Ferraris to get pole position. Shackleton's coming out towards the line now with the flag already out. Is it going to be a big improvement? 1:36, 7, 8, 9. Flag! Stays third. Improved on time, 1:40.246. Chenkovan up. Is he quicker? Of course he is. 1:38.965. 2.5 tenths faster. And Chenkovan takes pole position after dominating in the sprint here in Azerbaijan. I think, Owen, that was predictable. Ferrari doing well, but Aron's right up there, and hopefully he can do a great race.
Yeah, great time from Andrea Chenkovan there. 38.9 is a brilliant time in session. And yeah, Aaron McGurk splitting the 2 Ferraris there. So Ferrari getting a 1-3, but don't count Aaron McGurk out of this race. He's definitely in this race with how powerful DRS is around here.
So there's your full results then. Ferrari, Williams, Ferrari, Alpine, McLaren, Chenkovan ahead of Aron, Ethan Shackleton in there as well. Then we get Kyle Stewart-Woodard as well, Connor Stewart-Woodard in the back, and then the McLaren coming in as well with Adam Watson in 6th position as well. All set then for an extremely exciting Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And that will be coming up shortly then here in the race. Owen, what's your predictions then? 6 cars on the grid, but even we can see they can be dramatic with 6 of them as well. It's going to be quite fun.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a very close fought battle between the top 3. Kyle will probably be just a little bit outside that battle, I predict, as it's already raining.
Yeah. Rain hard.
Yeah, it said on the graphic, that looks like interconditions to me. It said on the graphic it wasn't going to rain immediately, but you never know. If the weather's on approximate, it's never 100% accurate. But a fight between the top 3, probably I expect. Hopefully we finish with all 6 cars on the grid as well.
I do not want all of them out to begin with. Then again, I would assume that would be a restart of the lobby to come into it as well. See the safety car at the back of the field there. I wonder how many times that's going to be in deployment today. VSCs as well. Drivers now will be debating their strategy to see which is going to be the fastest, which is going to be the slowest, and it doesn't show a sign of it dropping out, does it, Owen? It's really sort of hammering in there as well. You can see on the surface. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's not going to wrap up.
Yeah, it's really aggressive rain. Obviously, we can't tell if it's going to get worse or not because obviously we don't have the engineer here to tell us. But to me, that doesn't look like that rain's going to lift for quite a while, considering how heavy that looks.
Just like Jennifer Aniston inviting us to a broadcast channel. Especially sends that out to everybody. So, are we going to get going soon? Will it be full wets or intermediates? It's a 50% race distance. So, top of my head, that's going to be about 26 laps ahead. 9 was long, with only 3 cars remaining in the race. Let's see how long we go for this. Don't think we'll have pit stop if it goes full wet for the whole thing. Those wet tyres usually can last the distance. Don't think we won't have the dry mandatory changeover that we had in previous sessions. Does take a while, doesn't it? But we don't get the ticker anymore to tell us when we're going to go green. Missed that. Are we allowed, Owen, to criticise Codemasters and EA?
Criticising Codemasters is allowed, in my opinion. It's something. Criticising the F1 game is something I'm not particularly quiet about.
Right, I want to know and what they're on. So this might be a little bit controversial, but I want the tyre details. I want to know all on intermediates, Owen. So that's an interesting call for them all to put on intermediates.
That's what I expected. I didn't think it was full wet conditions. It just doesn't look heavy enough rain to be full wet conditions. But I think, as I said, this rain will be with us for quite a while, I expect.
So maybe a one-stop race for 2 sets of intermediates. That seems to be more probable to my liking. So come down through the battle sections on the circuit. In the wet, this changes. This is going to be insane. The castle section, for instance. So, Owen, explain to us what they're doing out here right now. We're seeing them slide the rear of the cars out as well. They're trying to find the grip, or they're trying to find how far they can push on acceleration with the torque.
I think it's a bit of both, but I also think in there as well, they're trying to find some temperature in their tyres because of how wet it is. Off the line, you're going to want to have some temperature in your tyres because, especially in the rain, ooh, that looks quite close from Schenkervan there, but having that little bit of temperature in your tyres right at the start makes a complete difference to your race start. It can minimise the amount of sliding you get in the rear of your tyres off the line, which, of course, in the rain starting, you get a lot more sliding than you do in the dry, but I think there's probably going to be quite a lot of finding temperature on this formation lap. And I don't expect them to be trying to find the limit particularly because tyre wear actually does count on a formation lap. So I think they'll be trying to save their tyres actually for the race. So I think they'll be trying to find temperature more than finding the limit.
So, yes, if they can't go the whole race on these set of intermediate tyres, or swap halfway at 13 as well for a new set. We'll see how this goes. Cars approaching the grid then. One thing I wish Codemasters would reintroduce is the knock back to the start camera, because otherwise we've got no idea what's going on down to turn 1. It's a bit of a mystery. But with only 6 cars on the grid, we're going to go on board with the back as well of Adam Watson. So he's 6th on the grid, 3 rows. We'll see everything that happens down to turn 1. To my opinion, it's a safe bet that he's going to be the one to watch as they will all line up. So look to the lights as they form up in position. You get to form up on your own guidelines here as well. So here we go then. Time to begin. The lights come on with 3, 4, 5. And the Battle of Baku is underway. It's a very even start for the front 5, but unfortunately not a great start as well for the McLaren. Into turn 1 as well already. We've got dramas coming as the Williams takes the lead up front as well. Exactly what needed to happen coming into it. I've lost control of the keys. Up the inside, contact already. And that was the back of Connor Stuart Ward battling. Williams lead the way at the moment as they come into this, though. As we've lost key access up here in the commentary box, so I can't. There we go. It's back now. Ferrari up the inside as well, trying to battle. Alpine up to second. Terrible start for the Ferraris there, though. Owen, as they come down into turn 5 and 6.
Yeah, absolute disaster for the Ferraris. Not only have they let, of course, Aaron McGurk, who was second, get past Schenkovan, but Kyle has got past both of them. So a fantastic start for him. As I said, maybe he just got that temperature into his tyres on that formation lap a little bit better than the rest, because he's made one flyer of a start. So, and Aaron McGurk is absolutely gone now, I say as well. 2.5 seconds nearly.
This is what I don't like. The castle section. Are they all going to get through safely? Look like it, yeah. But honestly, the computer system's having a nightmare. The buttons keep lagging back. It's like it's got auto-director on. It's really weird. It's like R-Factor 2. Fighting for control to show us TV pictures. Right now, it wants to show us the leader. We want to see the battle for second and third right now, which it has now restarted at 2 as the camera caught up. No, look at that. It's gone back to 1. Anybody knows what's going on? Let us know. Because it's confused. Yeah, I can't change it. I have to hold down the number to actually make it work. So, no idea what's going on right now with the game. As we see Ethan battling hard with the Alpine coming down. There'll be no DRS on this straightaway, though. So it'll be having to do with it themselves. A little bit of a fight back between them. Down towards the first corner. Williams fast up of the race. 3 wide. Ferrari's going to have to take care. And, yep, just as they do, Kyle gives them enough room to it as well. So I don't know what's going on right now with the game. Let's hope that solved it. Oh, so for some reason, as into the pit lane comes Adam Watson, we've got a problem with the game where, because of the conditions and the start procedure, we can't get. I'm having to hold down the buttons myself. So, Owen, this is going to be a very jumpy race.
Yeah, definitely. But could there be something placed on Tom's PC keyboard? Sorry, possibly.
Well, it was working fine at the sprint race. It's just that I think it's the game that's lagged. So
maybe.
Yeah.
Ooh, look, there's contact there. Yeah, maybe. Very weird, but we'll make the best of it.
Got it. I've managed to fix it.
What was it?
No idea. I just held down the caps lock until something beeped in my ear. So, no idea. I just did the basic computer thing that I could think of. that's my computer degree. I think sticky keys must have been on, yeah. So if you hold down the caps lock, it automatically resets your keyboard. A little bit of a fact for you all there. So I held it down and it's been fine. Anyway, right now, let's have a look at Schenkovan. He's going to go to the inside of Kyle in the Alpine. He's not about it, but Ethan Jack and his teammates right behind him in 4th position. Well, it's now going funny again where we're stuck on P3. So, yeah. I have no idea what's going on. If anybody does, write to us, as I haven't got a clue what's happening to our broadcast cameras, courtesy of APC. But right now, this is the one we need to focus on because it's where the battle is coming through. So Schenkovan goes up into 2nd position. Kyle goes down into 3rd, and Ethan Shackleton's coming up there as well. No DRS, of course. It's all going to be slipstream battles, but with the spray and visibility, hard to tell who needs to be where. Literally got no idea what's happening with it. There we go. So, controlling slides once more. Both McLarens, though, are right at the back in 5th and 6th position, just sort of having no look at all today. So far back, 40 seconds back.
Yeah, I think they're just struggling in these conditions a little bit, which is fair enough. They seem like very treacherous conditions. Also, one thing I have noticed, at the front, I think Aaron McGurk is running a higher wing setup than Andrea Schenkovan. Just watching the timing, Andrea Schenkovan gained about half a second on the Baku, on the main straight, and then since then he's lost about 7/10 in like the difficult cornering sections of sector 2. So I think Aaron McGurk has put on a higher wing setup, possibly a dry and wet hybrid, in preparation for this wet weather, because he's gaining a full second now on this lap alone on Schenkovan.
Could be the situation coming into it. Yeah, it's not bad, is it, at the moment? With the Williams have a look how he exits at turn 15. And in 16. He's cautious, isn't he? But he's still setting faster and faster that time. So, yeah, so I'm with you on that. Battling's still going on as this is on board with the Alpine now. Struggling out there. Ethan Shackleton might have a run on him shortly as well as they rise up the hill. Now, this will be a better run. For me, no DRS, proper slipstreaming battles. Yellow, and that might be a safety car at the castle section. Oh, out of the race goes the McLaren of Adam Watson. Meantime, Shackleton's going to the inside line down towards turn number 1. Getting ahead of Carshot. One on his sent it round the outside. Aggressive defending, but it's kept the position ahead. Nicely done. Yellow flag retrieved. Down to 5 then, Owen. The battle for the podium still hotting up.
Yeah, Kyle Stewart Woodard using one of them alternate lines that you can find in the wet weather. Sometimes on certain corners there are just areas where the grip is a little bit better than the standard racing line, and he was just able to put the power down earlier because of the angle of the corner and also the wet. He was able to put the power down earlier than Shackleton was and just swooped straight down the outside of him and got back past. So great move for him and some great defending so far.
On board with Shackleton as he comes towards the castle section. This is the really win it or bin it moment as well. You don't want to go too wide and have an issue and put yourself out of a possible podium spot. You can see him down and dive up the inside as well. It's each way coming through this zone. The track narrows just 8 meters in width. No Ferrari in the barrier this time out. No need for the I am stupid comments. And that was a late lunge on the inside line. That's going to give him an ulterior line. Well, we saw it work for Kyle. Can it work for Ethan? On board into the braking zone, but Kyle made a mistake and then blocks the inside line. Ethan was lucky not to lose a front wing there. A small mistake from the Alpine cost. Downhill into the braking zone at turn 16. Slow. That's how you've got to treat this one. Nice and slow. It's got the better exit power though. No DRS, only having to do this on battery power. Carl makes a small mistake. Ethan's coming for him as well. Just slowly, not using the overtake, not using the battery. The Alpine goes to the inside, tries to sell the dummy, tries to break that toe. Ethan's going to send it up the inside. He knows, though, that car's got the acceleration at the exterior corner. They give each other enough space. Small mistake again for the Alpine. Brilliant game of cat and mouse, isn't it, Owen, as well? They just need to be careful because they could end up in the wall.
Yeah, you need to be very careful, especially in wet weather conditions. I think if you break even a fraction of a second late as the car behind, you're going to take yourself and the car in front out. So you need to be really, really on it and really paying attention. And concentration is going to be one of the big things about this race, especially at Baku. I think if you lose concentration, you may end up in a wall. So concentration is key in this race.
Locks up inside front left as well, just having a little bit of a brake too hard, and even with these intermediate tyres you can still lose some grip. Thinks about the inside line. This is again coming towards the castle section. Just take it with ease. It doesn't mean it can't look really slow through this part as well. Up the hill, they get through okay. Just back controlling its wheel spin. Now get back on the power. This is the bit of the track everybody doesn't like. Zooms it through. That's where Carl made a mistake last time. 10 seconds, by the way. Alan Rickard's got to Andrzej Chenkovan. Down the hill we go. Look, see, that's a bigger visual gap of the drop you get there. A lot of stories. Big snap from the Alpine. DRS is not going to be an option, remember, so it's all done on battery power and speed, momentum. Look how much faster the Ferrari is compared to the Alpine. It's practically already passed it before we get to the kink at turn 20. Back in the toe. Alpine hold that advantage. Hold it. Inside line. Alpine going to go down, down, down. Can he come back round the outside? No. Tries to cut back, gets back on the power. Downhill towards turn 2, looks to the inside line. Ferrari blocks it. Nicely done. A little bit of a top of the wall there as well, actually. And now the closest battle on the circuit, once again, changes out. So let's take a look quickly at the. Well, we'll move that away actually and just make that all a bit easier for you to navigate. I don't know about you, Owen, but this is actually surprising me how close the battle for the final podium spot actually is.
Yeah, it's been a really, really close battle. As I said earlier, great defending from Kyle to make it to defend for that long. I think he's been helped by the fact that there has been no DRS so far due to the wet weather. Wet definitely makes it easier to defend by far, and defending in the wet is one of my favourite things to do. It is so fun. But I think that was a really, really good battle in my opinion. Really clean.
So, Checkerman second, and McCook leads this race. Here he is in the Williams. Fastest sector as well. I think you're right about that setup. That could be the reason we were so delayed. He's flying ahead, 12 seconds now. We'll have a gap for a pit stop soon as well. Really interested to see what this lap time for him would be actually across that line. It's going to be another fastest lap, isn't it? But what lap time are they doing in the wet? 52, 53. It's a 1:53.963 and locks up hard towards that first corner. In comparison, that's quite a decent lap time. I think you're right with that guess of the setup.
On Inters, that's quite good. But I also do think the rain might be eased.
Yeah, it does look like it.
I think it's eased a lot since the start of the race. So even though those Inters are going to get more worn, the track will dry up, so the track will just get naturally faster. So we could actually see a shift to dries towards the end of this race. On the actual weather report, it did say dry and wet, so we could end up seeing it. It's just going to be when the drivers switch to those dry tyres, because for some reason in this game, there was a very strange visual glitch. I don't know if they've fixed it yet, but there is a visual glitch where you will end up, it will get dry, but it won't be dry. It will visually look dry, but the track won't be dry. It's a really, really weird visual glitch. But the time to switch in this game is when your engineer tells you to switch. Unless they've fixed that visual glitch, you go by what the engineer says, which is not something you'd normally do in this game.
How broken is it, F1 24? How broken has it become? I mean, we know there's going to be no new updates to it now, but it's only half a year old and it's broken.
Oh, this visual glitch has been in there since the start of the game. They've not fixed it. As far as I'm aware, it's not been fixed. It could have been fixed. I'm not too sure. But as far as I'm aware, it's still in the game. So we will see.
Really is disappointing, to be fair, that this comes into it. But here's a look through the field right now. Everyone's separated by quite a big margin. So there's space of a few laps as well. Not going to see the usual battles. And it's only lap 7:26. Maybe this should have been the sprint race. Coming into it as well. Taking it hard across that line. There's Jankoman in P2. Closing up the order as well as he comes across the line. And there's a lap throughout the drivers as well. As we take a look at Aaron McCurk, who leads this race in the Williams so far on the PC console. Our only driver on the PC console. All the Xbox runners running 3 down. Which I find interesting. There's no real gap, is there, between the console and PlayStation and PC anymore, is there? It's all pretty much the same concept and the same genre of racing now.
Yeah, and FPS has nothing to do with it anymore. Actually, in fact, in the last 3 F1 games, 60 FPS has been faster than 120. Really, really weird. It's really weird, but let me explain. So, the reason 60 FPS is faster than 120 is due to the behaviour and interactions with curbs. So, on 60 FPS, curbs are much less likely to throw you, which means you can just go over a curb a little bit more than you can on 120 FPS. Really weird and amazing how they haven't fixed it in 3 F1 games, but that's just how it is. So many PC players, including probably some esports drivers, run 60 hertz instead of 120.
Yeah, well, I wonder how much of a problem it is. The fact is that still this game is split across 2 generations of consoles. It is on PS4 and PS5 and whatever the hell Xbox is running these days. I've lost track with that because they don't go linear. Xbox. Somebody decided to have Xbox 360, and then right when we were expecting like Xbox 720 or something or other, Xbox One, and then Xbox One Series X, Y, G, A, B, C, blah blah blah. I can't keep across with it.
You've got the Xbox One, you've got the Xbox One, the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X, the Xbox Series X, and the Xbox Series S at the moment.
Which one's the newest generation?
The best, the newest generation is the Series consoles. The newest Xbox One is the One X, and the oldest being the One. But yeah, Xbox does not make its generation of consoles very easy. Let's be honest.
No, and to be frank, I think that's why they're sort of failing at the moment, and that's why PlayStation I think it's over. It's won already the console war.
Sony isn't doing great either. Sony have a big legal battle against them, which we won't go down that rabbit hole. But
we have a lot to fill. We have a lot to fill. We may as well go down the rabbit hole.
All right. Do you want me to go down that rabbit hole then?
Go down the rabbit hole. We've got a lot to fill.
Sony have a lawsuit against them at the moment. I don't know if anything else has come of it, but about 6 months ago there was a lawsuit filed against them for overcharging in the PlayStation Store between the years 2015 and 19. I think it was. They were overcharging by up to like 20% on some games. So people were suing, and if they win this, and if they lose this class action lawsuit, they could end up having to pay like back the amount they overcharged to every single account that purchased the game between like 2015 and 18 that they overcharged on.
I had that for a year or two. Let's see if I get anything back. That'd be nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very long lawsuit. I think that will probably go for about 2 years. And Microsoft now actually aren't doing too bad. Of course, the Activision Blizzard deal went through, and Modern Warfare 6 is amazing, in my opinion. Modern Warfare 6 is the best COD game for quite a while. I'm having a lot of fun with it. A lot of people are having fun with it. And Call of Duty is doing numbers for Microsoft at the moment. Of course, you'd expect that, but compared to their last couple of years' predecessors, Modern Warfare 6 is doing really well. And Microsoft is... Oh.
Ethan Shackleton's gone straight on at turn number 2 as he knocked off the front wing. Bit of damage and end plate lost on the right-hand side. Other than that, he's okay. But he's lost 17 seconds to Chenkovan. I think he's just gone straight on into the wall.
Possibly outbraked himself there. Considering the conditions, it is really easy to outbrake yourself and just go straight on. Tricky conditions, especially with the rain lightning. As the track dries, you're sort of going to a crossover point where the inters sort of become slick. So it becomes even harder to control as the tyres wear.
I have just looked up at my screen and realised it's lap 10 of 26, which means we've been running an average of 2 minutes per lap. So I'm trying to work that out quite quickly in terms of it's been 20 minutes so far to get to 10. About another 30 minutes remain in this race at the moment. So that'll be something to change over when we will change, because the rain is getting easier. But the gaps are already so big between the 5 cars that are taking part. It's these type of events where you start to think highlights reels would be very easy. As we see at the moment, we've only got 5 cars running from the 6 that started. And everyone's spread out by quite a margin right now as well. There's Aaron McCurk coming into it in the Williams, running very smoothly as well. A little bit of a slide at the rear. So our gap is 11.5, and then it's 20, and then it's 2/8 as well at the back. Listening to the traction as well, there's not much. It keeps spinning out from underneath, so it's still raining out there. You can still see it coming down. So even off our off-board angle, it looks like the rain is stopping. On board, you can actually see the rain coming down. So it looks like it's actually getting harder again, Owen. So I wonder if it's actually coming back. Like we had a brief stoppage, now it's back again.
Maybe it could be doing that. I'm not too sure. Raining this game is quite weird because your engineer will tell you it's stopping. For instance, stopping in 5 minutes. You'll ask him next lap, and he'll say 5 to 10 minutes. You'll ask him next lap, the lap after that, it will say 10 minutes, and then you'll just keep going like that. So you don't trust what the engineer says, is what I'd say. Normally, unless he tells you to change tyre. When he tells you to change tyre and the actual strategy option comes up, that's when you've hit the crossover point. Oh, as the McLaren goes in the wall.
Just not caught the rear. He was looking up to lose any of the front wing there.
Yeah, very lucky. Didn't look like too much of a hard hit.
Oh, he touched it.
It looked like on both impacts, the rear took most of the impact. So if there was going to be any damage, it would be to the rear wing. And luckily in the F1 games, the rear wing is a lot more sturdy than your front wing is. It's a lot harder to break your rear wing.
Compare that to, I remember Juan Pablo Montoya and Ralf Schumacher coming to blows in, again, Indianapolis in 2002 this was as well. And Ralph's rear wing just went flying off at awesome speed in that one. One of the rare times they did come together, those two, actually. It's a weird situation. There's Kyle in fourth. Running up in the Alpine. Intermediate tyres still. Just everyone trying to keep it out of the wall right now as well. Down the backstretch. It looks okay to me so far. We're all right on board with him. Oh, big snap. So these Inter tyres, I would say, are pretty much past their sell-by date. Question is, do you wait for them to turn into completely messed and try and go to dry tyres, or do you say that's enough, I'll take it back, I'll come again? But it's just every time it's snapping underneath, it's snapping everywhere into the braking zone. Let's watch this as the castle section. As we've had a few technical gremlins up here in the commentary box, I have absolutely no idea how, but we're back with us on the race, and fingers crossed everything's working well. Checovan still leads. Ethan Shackleton's in third position as well at the moment, just coming into the pit lane now. We've gone on to dry tyres. Let's get you up to date with what's happening in terms of the details right now. Checovan leads. He's on intermediate tyres, but has been on so for 16 laps. Up into second position now on mediums as well is Aaron McCurk. Third then comes in now for the McLaren of coming in, that's Connor. And then we get Shackleton into fourth position, and up into fifth on the softs is Kyle Stewart-Woodard. But that's it at the moment. But Checovan staying out there as well. Owen's hopefully still with us, still seeing some sort of pictures as we're back live on Twitch and YouTube. But Checovan leading lap 18 and 26 on old Inters on what is now looking like a dry track. And Shackleton's gone back on intermediates as well. So he's come in, tried the dries, and gone back to Inters. So it's a real weird situation right now as to which tyre is actually best.
I think the visual glitch has struck. My picture is very, very laggy at times, but I think the visual glitch has stuck. 100%. I think what's happened there is everybody saying, "Oh, the track is dry," but it's not actually dry. Very weird EA glitch that they haven't fixed for 3 years, but the gap is between Checovan and Aaron McGurk seems to be going up ever so slightly, but not majorly. So we will see.
Out of interest, could that visual glitch have been what kicked us out of the game and caused everything to crash?
No, it wouldn't have been. No. There's been many times that visual glitch has actually been streamed, and also I've been in obviously races and commentated on races where the visual glitch has happened, and it's never done that. So I don't believe it was. I don't believe it was the visual glitch that did that. I just think it was what we said when we were offline.
well, apologies, but delighted that we could have it back. As into the pit lane now has come Chenkovan. So our race leader dives in, and is this for dry tyres? DRS has been enabled by the stewards, and it is for dry tyres. It's way in the pit lane though, still, you can see it. Wow, okay. So dry tyres coming on. And now 152, 748. Media's going to be on, and it's been very close to the exit, but into the pit lane goes Aaron McCurk and takes the lead of the race. So, back in after 2 laps on those mediums, but will Ethan Shackleton come in? He's on tyres right now that aren't looking that good. Yeah, not the best there, as we'll get everything back up and running. No, I don't know. It's a bit hard to see what's going to happen next. Weather conditions appearing nice. Lap 19 as well coming into it. Very bizarre running order right now with the race. Still intermediates. Soft tyres that are going on for Kyle. See what he goes with as the racing continues on. I hope we are back on at the YouTube channel, even if it's just on something random. If not, on Twitch. Hello.
YouTube is not streaming at the moment, I have checked.
Well, we upload them afterwards anyway, so we'll have a brief glitch cut back in. Shackleton then on the intermediate tyres, still having a few data. We've all lost commentary. God, it's happened to me a couple of times. Happened to me, Abu Dhabi 2021 under the safety car. Whole thing went down. Literally, as Ethan Shackleton's a 149.592. We had the safety car. 2 laps to go when we get the information that the safety car is ending. The entire stream crashes. We get it back literally as Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton are side by side under the hotel. So we lost streams. It was unpredictable. And honestly, after that day, I've had heart attack after heart attack about losing streams and all that actors. So it's really not nice. But lost commentary happens to the best of us. So, times now, I think, we've got an entire lap, I think, Owen, on the field. Because, look, we've got Aaron and Andre, I think, ahead by a lap to the McLaren of Connor. I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously something that's happened whilst we were having those technical issues. The only thing I can think of is that they went in as soon as literally the visual glitch. With the visual glitch, it literally just gets dry like immediately as soon as it stops raining.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can think of is they went in, tried the dries, lost a load of time. They were like, those tyres are not it. Went back in for inters. Then a few laps later had to box again for dries. That's the only thing I can think of. Obviously, we won't know until we speak to some people in driver interviews, but that's all I can think of for the moment.
Keeping on the accelerator then and holding it nicely. This is the gap then for the lead. Into the pit lane comes Ethan Shackleton. So he's going to go on a full lap down now on the running order. Jenny's been... Oh, okay. It's a really weird situation I'm just finding myself in right now. Actually, I'll explain more in a moment. But this race has got to hold itself together nicely. This is the battle that we were waiting 6 tenths now. Chenkovan is inside Aaron McCurk's times, so DRS is now enabled. Finally, looks like we might get a showdown like you are used to here. You want it, I want it, we all want it. Into the castle section, that'd be a nice overtake. So much more curb entry as well. Taking every single gap. Over we go once more. Rear sliding. We know Chenkovan likes that. What's McCurk going to do in the Williams to be defensive? Over we go then, in towards the kink at 15. Braking zone downhill. Easy to lock up and go straight on, especially if you're losing part of your downforce. That little winglet that's been missing on the Ferrari since early on in this race is now going to be costing him absolutely fortunes in terms of aero speed, downforce, and the tolling between. This will be the first opportunity with DRS enabled. See already, visibly, the gap was 8 tenths, 6 tenths, 5 tenths. DRS active now, 4 tenths, 4.5, 3, 2, 1, over the line, to the inside, and the race lead once again goes to Chenkovan. Big lock up from McCurk though. He's going to come back to the inside line. Owen takes it, locks him again. Nearly makes contact, there was contact. Small drama between the two of them. DRS open again. Down towards turn number 3. Will it be the inside line? A late lunge. Thinks about it. Owen steps up, locks up. Chenkovan has the race lead. And now it all shifts. Williams have been controlling this one all day. Ferrari now going to come and steal it away in Baku. 4 tenths lost on that lap time alone. Chenkovan had a better advantage. 6 tenths look already, and there's lap traffic coming involved. The McLaren is now going to be in there. That's the guy in 3rd place. So the McLaren of Connor Stewart-Woodard is going to be right in the mix of this. He battling for 3rd. They're going to lap him. That's how much the gap overlapped when we had our tech issues up here in the comms box, when everybody decided to come into the pit lane. And it's given us a lock up, nearly in the wall. And how much are they going to be flat spotting these tyres as well? There's only a couple of laps left, but they can't destroy them too much.
Yeah, and I think the reason we're seeing Aaron McGurk and the shift in pace change so much is because, as I said, I think Aaron McGurk took a wet setup, or at least an inter setup. And now that, even though he has damage, the pendulum has swung back to Andrea Chenkovan, because I imagine from what I was seeing in the wet, he has a dry setup on his. Yeah, he goes fastest even with that end plate damage. I think he's put a dry setup on, and towards the end of the race, whatever happened when Aaron McGurk went in early and lost a bit of time, that really swung in his favour. And he's got a tyre offset of 2 laps as well on Aaron McGurk.
Yellow flag, sector 2, and is that going to be the Alpine going slowly? It is. So Kyle's having a bit of an issue at the top of the hill. He's got going, and he's lost part of the front. He's lost part of the front winglet as well. So that's not going to be doing much favours. Believe, there is going to be Connor Stewart-Woodard, who is now being approached quite quickly by the race leaders to be put a full laps down in this event. And now that kind of tells you that we're lapping around about 1 minute 40, if that's the gap, as things stand. So 1 minute 40 seems to be the optimal lap times. Weird how that doesn't make sense across the two, but it does make sense to us. It's a bit bizarre. 3:15, nearly in the wall, goes to Williams. That was close. Did he lose a winglet? Don't think so. Got away with it. Yeah, got away with it. Runs over a bit too much as well. So, over the hills, far away once more. Control your slides, everybody. Let's see what we've got. Easy overtake then on the line. This will be a lap down. So, the only 2 on the lead lap are 1st and 2nd in this race. In a race of 5 cars, they've managed to lap. That's how crazy APC really is. 5 cars may race, 3 of them get lapped by the top 2 of time to perfection. A little bit of a slide there, actually. I think you're right what you're saying, Owen, because now, look, 2 seconds already to Aaron, and I think, we've definitely seen that. We're going to have, I think, a double race victory coming through for the Ferraris.
Yeah, unfortunate for Aaron that gamble on the wet setup. I'm almost 99% sure he took a wet setup from what I've seen. It almost paid off, but I think probably what cost him was, I'm not 100% sure if this happened, but I think he might have fell for the visual glitch and gone in too early. as I said earlier, the time to go in is either when DRS gets enabled or when your engineer tells you to. Roughly around that point, they both happen at around the same time. That's the time to go in, not when the visual glitch shows it's dry. Very, very weird from EA, but it feels like all I've done this live stream is complain about EA, but
I'd say we've all done it. It's been complicated city, hasn't it? Really. So everyone's now lap down. So this will be an interesting end to the race. 2.6 seconds at the moment. 2 laps to go. Everyone's too far away now as well. I think the Alpines need 2 laps down on the running order. Where is... Yeah,
he's
been
over 2 laps down.
Yeah, he's been lapped a couple of times now. I'd love to know what the actual final definition will be.
I actually think he might have disconnected.
Yeah, judging by that.
It looked like he was ghosted for a second. Hang on. Can you switch back to him quickly, just so I can...
Here we go. We'll ride with him on board as well.
He's not ghosted, meaning he's not disconnected. Not too sure then. We'll have to ask him later.
He's ghosting through the corner though. Coming into it. So I don't know, maybe he's having connection issues along the line. Love to know what the final thing is. We could see, could have a look at the race direction, but that means going into the pause menu. Bit of a lock up. I mean, there's not much going on, but, you know, knowing our luck, we'll miss someone hitting the wall or something like that.
Commentator's curse right there.
I was kind of hoping, to be fair. Is Ethan going to hit the wall? Oh, he's locked up! Oh! Come on. It was... That would have been funny.
On someone's downfall.
He's 4th. He's not on the podium. What does it matter?
Still losing 12 points.
Yeah, that's true. It's going to be a lot of decent points to come in today. Has felt like a bit of an Indianapolis 2005 vibe, but it's been fun. Tech problems right in the centre of the race. One final lap then, here in Azerbaijan. And it's going to be Andrei Chenkovan who's going to take victory here in Baku, unless he throws it away. It's 5 seconds to Aaron McKirk, who's in P2. Locks up again on that front. Definitely think you're right. He's taken a full wet setup compared to how much pace he's lost in the dry compared to what he had in the wet. A lap down will be the McLaren of Connor Stewart-Woodard. Then 8 seconds back to him will be Ethan Shackleton, and right at the back of the field, a couple of laps down now, is going to be Kyle Stewart-Woodard as well. Not a bad race. Really annoyed we missed the crossover phase while we were trying to fix the PC. Owen can back me up. The strangest computer crash we've ever seen.
I've never seen it before.
It's completely weird. If that can happen, I'm a bit worried. But we got it fixed. And we got
in
to
the end.
the end of it. Yeah. A little bit of a whiness at the exit. Most people would have just given up. Not us. Not at APC. We bring you the end of the race. Always have. Always will. Andrei Chenkovan won the sprint race 2 hours ago. He's going to win the main Grand Prix as well. Sprint and feature to close up in the Drivers' Championship. The battle is on. And the Battle of Baku victorious for Chenkovan. He does the double and waves the flag for victory. Aaron McKirk will finish in 2nd position for Williams. 3rd across the line comes the McLaren of Connor Stewart-Woodard. 5th will be Kyle Stewart-Woodard across the line, and Ethan Shackleton behind will finish in 4th. When Andrei Chenkovan wins here in Baku, the 10th round of the season. 3 to go after this, Owen. Championship fight back on well and truly.
Yeah, Chenkovan taking the opportunity of Wonslat Reversi not being here with both hands and absolutely maximising his points gain, getting maximum points and closing the gap in the championship. So hopefully for the rest of the season, he can put on a performance and close up.
It's champagne time after a very well and deserved race victory and a double weekend for him. 7 days' time, it's all racing again. What a race! What an absolute barnstormer. Wet weather playing a factor once again. Full results, we've been waiting for this. So already a DNF for the McLaren of Adam Watson. Carl Schumacher finished 2 laps down, a lap down for Ethel Shackleton and Connor Schumacher, and a lead lap was for Aaron McKirk. Race victory though, going to Andrea Chenkovan with a 1:41.248, his fastest lap, 26 points going to him, plus the sprint race victories as well. Not a bad day. Not a bad day at all. Now, Connor's waiting for us in the waiting room. We'll drag him up to the commentary box now as well. Connor, hello, can you hear me? 3rd place today as well. How was that out there? Tricky conditions, and the changeover was quite exciting as well. How are you?
Yeah, it was definitely a tricky time to sort of figure out when to change over. I think my internet started to run out, so I was kind of, my hand was a bit forced. So seemed to have worked out in the end, but trying to stay alive on the wet on the mediums was a hell of a struggle.
Tell us what happened in the sprint race a couple of hours ago as well. Just a little bit of a lock up on the opening lap and hit the barrier as well on the opener.
No, there was let's say a little bit of a dive on the inside. Kind of cut my corner up a little bit and kind of got knocked into the wall, but it happened.
Oh. And going into the rest of the season as well, how confident do you feel that the car has still got pace and you've still got pace going into it?
I mean, I've been doing okay in the wets, but I'm kind of also hoping for no more wet races, to be fair. But my pace has not been up to what it was last season. But I think, coming towards the end of the season is probably when I'll be at my best.
Owen, anything from you? I think not. I always like to give a question there. Connor, thank you very much. Great racing here today.
No, I appreciate it, guys. Take care.
Thank you. And joining us now is Ethan Shackleton.
Sorry,
Ethan?
I was having tech issues.
Sorry, no worries. Hello, Ethan, can you hear us?
Hello.
Well, confusing race for you out there. A 1-2 in the sprint race for Ferrari. You and Andrea were backing off, letting each other run it. Just first of all, with the sprint, what was going on there? Was it a plan that Andrea was going to take more points, or did you just sort of accept that you couldn't get up there because you dropped 2 seconds back in the sprint race?
No, Andrea was just quicker than me. I broke my wing, I think, lap 4 or 5. And then even before that, when I had a fully intact wing, he was just as quick as me with his broken wing anyway.
And in the main Grand Prix, you again had another broken front wing as well. Came into the pit lane twice. Now, we had tech issues, so we lost out on the initial changeover. From your point of view, why did you come in for a set of dries, then back to intermediates, and then you came in for dries again?
Okay, I picked for dries because for some reason the track looked completely bone dry. There was no spray at all, but it was still really greasy on the surface. So the dries were much slower. I just kept spinning the rears up.
I said it, didn't I, Josh?
You did, Owen.
I said somebody would fall for the visual glitch. Basically, Ethan, let me explain this to you. Since the launch of the game, there has been a visual glitch where the track, as soon as it stops raining, will get completely dry, but it's not. It will still be wet. It will just look dry. The time to change in the wet in this game is when the engineer tells you or when DRS is enabled.
To be fair, now you mention it being a glitch, it seems weird that it was so quick to dry up. Like it took maybe a lap after the rain stopped and there was no spray. That's stupid. Like
that's an EA game for you, I'm afraid.
Sadly so, yeah. And just going into the rest of the championship as well, we've got now Ferrari benefiting from Haas not being here this weekend. So you've closed up both in the drivers and in the constructors championship. 3 races to go. Are you going to toss your hat into the ring for the main championship, or are you going to go and help the team with the Constructors' Championship? Are you going to be Charles Leclerc, or are you going to fall back and be a sort of Carlos Sainz?
I'll probably be a half and half, to be honest, because as much as I'd love Andrea to win the drivers, I think even no matter how much I do, I think it's a bit out of the question, really. I'm only going to help him gain a few points if possible. But if he's quicker, I will let him go.
Ethan, thank you very much for your company as well. We'll let you go. And alongside us now is the driver who finished second today, Aaron McCulloch. Aaron, hello, can you hear us? Ooh, might have a few tech issues, waiting for his mic to come on. I hope he can hear us. Aaron, can you hear us? Nope, can't hear him at all. Coming into it. Owen, any final questions for you while we've still got Ethan here?
What lap was it you actually pitted, if you can remember? What lap did it stop raining, and what lap did it look completely dry?
Oh, sorry, I can't remember exactly. Probably about lap 15, if I was to guess.
So literally around when we lost the stuff, Josh.
I just started to think if that is the problem why we lost it as well. It's like it really is weird. I'll try one more time. Owen, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, hello, fantastic. P2 in the race then as well. Fantastic on-track battles as well. Give us your perspective on that race as you finished second for Williams.
I'm a bit gutted because I had the win in the bag, but then got hit with that visual glitch. And
You got it too, yeah.
I immediately lost like over 6 seconds to Andrea. So, and then whenever he came out of the pits, he was just lightning. He had the quicker tires. He was also just quicker on the day as well. But if I had have not, like my initial plan, whenever I was leading the races, I was like, I have the power here. I'm just going to wait until Andrea goes in and then go in the lap after. But the lap I went in, I was like, it's completely dry. I will only lose time if I stay out. Like, it was completely dry. And then I go in and I'm like, this is weird. I keep losing so much time to Andrea and my rears are sliding everywhere. So even though there's no spray at all, it is like you're driving in the wet on dries. So it was just horrific. So then whenever Andrea did come out of the pit lane, he had the quicker tires, and also I'd absolutely lit up my mediums because I'd been skating through the wet, trying to get any grip at all. But Andrea picked up the win anyway, and I'll have to try and go again the next time.
Lots of commiserations, because every time I've covered the championship, it's always you up there giving us fantastic overtakes, fantastic drives as well, Aaron. So you're definitely one of my stars. Owen, anything from you quickly?
Yeah, Aaron, did you have a wetter setup on? Did you have a setup that was sort of more suited towards the wet conditions?
I just threw my dry setup on, and I think it all really came down to me cooking the mediums whenever I went out earlier than Andrea. So whenever he got out of the pit lane, he was only 3 seconds behind me, and he was on much better tires because I'd been struggling on my mediums the couple laps that I'd been out ahead of him. So it was easy pickings for him. And I was surprised he had so much pace because I could see he had good wing damage, but then he just absolutely disappeared off in the distance. So I know Andrea's a bit quicker than me, but like that gap was probably too much. I think I really did ruin my mediums pitting so early. I feel like if I had have just stayed out, waited for Andrea to go in, then go in the next lap, I probably should have won, but can't go back, unfortunately.
Well, you're a star.
Understandable.
Yeah, and you're a star for turning up, Aaron. Let me tell you something. You're a star for that as well. And big points as well coming in. So, final 3 races. Hoping for some more wets, hoping for a dry race, or just sort of going like, let's just go full attack now?
I'm just kind of trying to catch Easton in the championship. I don't think I'm anywhere near the actual championship. Have a look. Yeah, I think the only person I can catch in the championship is Ethan. So if I can finish ahead of him in the championship, I'll take that.
Go for it. Well, I'll be rooting for you as well. Thank you for your company tonight, Aaron, and I hope you have a great rest of your night.
All right, thank you.
And I know we've got Kyle still up there as well. I don't know if he wants to pop in. I'll drag him into the broadcast as well. Hi, Kyle. Can you hear us?
I can indeed. How are we?
Hello. Not too bad, thank you. Bit of a drama with tech issues mid-race, but you've had a worse one out there. What was happening those last couple of laps for you?
Well, first in the sprint, my wheel decided it went light, literally going into the castle section. I've not had that since I've had this wheel, so it was very out of the blue. And then that obviously put me into the wall, which kind of ruined that race. So there's no catching up from there. But finished solidly. The actual race. So firstly, obviously you guys had your tech issues, so I had to try and get you back in the lobby. So when I was on the straight, I put you in the pause menu. And to try and get you back in the lobby, my car decided to pit for dries.
Oh, right. Oh, dear.
Yeah, and it was still. Wrong, actually. The track looked really dry. I've heard your interviews, and everyone seemed to see the same thing. It looked bone dry, but it was not. So I couldn't. I struggled to kind of keep it in a straight line during that period, and I couldn't go back to Inters. By that point, I was like, I'm committed. Got to go to the end, and because that put me so far, put me last effectively. I figured, at that point, like just stick on the dry, stick with it, and then try and get fast laps towards the end, which obviously didn't happen either. But yeah, there's no coming back from that. Unfortunately, after that happened, I was done.
Well, Carl, thank you very much for getting us back into the lobby. That was half an hour ago. It might be scary to think it's kind of shot by. Final thoughts then, coming from you then. What are you thinking for the last 3 races?
I've had this is the kind of part of the season where the tracks with my pace is a bit better. So even though the results haven't exactly been amazing, I've been quite happy with my pace. The first part of the season, I struggled so much with the game that I had to put traction control back on, and I've not used traction control in a good few years. So, but this season, since we've come back off the break, I've got it back. I've got it back off. I've got a medium technically, which is where I had it before. And I'm feeling a lot better. Definitely feeling a lot better. Obviously, it's a shame to not be up at the front. I mean, fighting Shaq for the podium for the first few laps was actually a lot of fun. And then I'm feeling confident. Some good tracks coming up. So I think the big battle is with Williams in the team. So I need my teammate to hopefully attend the last few races so we can try and keep third. I'm pretty sure we've lost that now after that result. So yeah.
Anything from you, Owen?
No, nothing to add from me.
Thank you very much, Aaron. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, everybody, as well. And Aaron as well. Aaron, I hope you have a great racing night, mate, honestly, as well. Commiserations for losing the win, but honestly, fantastic racing attitude as well. Good spirits all around. My thanks to everybody for watching us here. Sorry for the tech issues. They happen every now and then, but Azerbaijan may have only been 6 drivers in total, but once again, still giving us cracking last lap racing as well. We'll see you next time out at round 11 in a week's time. Thanks for your company. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
We're underway and racing. Stay on the brakes, goodness me, what a launch! The outside of turn 1 and takes the lead of the race.